Well, here we are again. Buffalo Sabres are set to take on one of the worst teams in the league, although we ourselves are also one of the worst teams in the league as of this time. Typically, when the Sabres have done that this year, it has not gone well. You can think back to the St. Louis game very early on in the year. You can think back to the first Calgary game, then the second Calgary game. Basically, every time the Sabres have been in one of these situations, they have absolutely blown it. Come out with their worst performances of the season are in those games. But now they have this opportunity to beat a team they really should beat in Vancouver, and that'll give them a chance to get out of this road trip on a neutral footing, which would be major considering how badly it started. This game against Vancouver, its importance cannot be overstated. It's one the Sabres desperately need, and they need to finally prove that they can show up and give a consistent effort in a game against a weaker foe. Because if they fail here, for the rest of the year, they will just be everyone's weakest foe. There will be nobody weaker if they drop this game. That is what is at stake Thursday night in Vancouver. Hey y'all, I'm Chris. This is the SaberCast, and we actually finally were able to get a game preview up for once. It's a rare occurrence on this channel recently just because I've been so busy, but I'm very happy to have a game preview for you here for the 31st game of the year as the Buffalo Sabres are headed to Vancouver to take on the Vancouver Canucks, currently the worst teams in terms of points and point percentage in the league. And you would think that might be a good thing for the Sabres, but we all know how much the Sabres have struggled in these situations this year. There's also big roster news as the Sabres have signed a player from their minor league affiliate, the Rochester Americans, and it's a Buffalo native. We'll get into all that in this video as well as think about kind of the direction the Sabres need to take in this game. We'll preview the Canucks. We'll take a look at the scores from last night's games, and we'll take a look at the standings overall and kind of where the Sabres are at. It's not pretty. And then we will preview the Vancouver Canucks, take a look at what they do well, and then just go through the numbers and kind of state where we think the Sabres are going to be able to do in this one. So we got a bit for you here in this preview video, so let's get into it. We'll start with the roster news. Obviously now with Colten Ellis potentially in the concussion protocol, potentially being on IR, it leaves another roster spot open. And the Buffalo Sabres are seemingly moving in the direction of calling up Trevor Kuntar. Trevor Kuntar is the son of Les Kuntar, who was a goaltender for the Rochester Americans in 1996-1997. And Trevor is a Buffalo native, grew up in Buffalo, went to Sabres games. He talked about watching Ryan Miller, Danny Briere, Jason Pominville during those years where they were active. And so he kind of has a stake in this whole thing. He's kind of like us in a lot of respects. And this is a guy who really came out of nowhere this season. We'll go into his history a little bit. Obviously a Buffalo native, as we said. Trevor Kuntar played his junior hockey for the Youngstown Phantoms in the USHL. He started off in 17-18. Only had 4 points in 43 games. Didn't have a lot of ice time. He improved in 18-19, 19 goals, 17 assists, 36 points through 61 games. And then his final year of junior hockey, he had 28 goals, 23 assists, 53 points through 44 games, point per game pace. It took him some time to get up to level, but once he got there, he was good. He's also a guy who will battle and fight and do what you need to do, kind of a grinder profile. He was showing that even then as he had penalty minutes of 44, 92, and 83 across those 3 seasons. And then he played his college hockey in Hockey East with Boston College. His first season there in 2020-2021, he was drafted actually heading into that season by the Boston Bruins. He was picked in the 3rd round, number 89 overall in the 2020 NHL entry draft. He went to Boston. First year, 23 games, 10 points, 6 goals, 4 assists. His second year for the Eagles, 9 goals, 18 assists, 20 points over 36 games. And then his final year, 29 points in 34 games. Again, approaching that point per game characteristic is kind of his 3rd year is where he tends to break out. And then he went into the Bruins minor league system with Providence. His first year with Providence, he played 70 games. 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points over those 70 games, 113 penalty minutes. They really utilized him as a kind of a 3rd or 4th line grinder, and kind of as an enforcer in a lot of respects as well. They didn't have much respect for his overall game, and his second year in Providence was not any better. He only played in 54 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points, 76 penalty minutes. So once again, using him as that kind of enforcer type. But then the Amherst signed him this offseason to a AHL deal. And thus far, he is the second leading goal scorer, tied for the lead in goals, I believe, with Rosane. 24 games, 9 goals, 4 assists, 13 points, 43 penalty minutes. So he's still doing his job kind of as a physical enforcer, but he's also had a bit more offensive flow here in his third season, already eclipsing his point total from his second professional season, 13 points to 12 points, and he's definitely on pace to exceed his point total from his first professional season of 20 points. Almost about to exceed the goal total as well. It's a case where he's being utilized differently. The Amherst have decided to use his offensive talents while still giving him the opportunity to be physical as well. He's been very impressive this year, and I think that's why he's getting the NHL contract and potentially an NHL shot. Good for a local kid. It's a nice story, and if he does end up making an appearance here, whether it be Thursday night or whether it be against Seattle, I know everyone will be pulling for him. I think he can make a contribution on the fourth line as well. We are looking at a situation with the Sabres, though, where we just have way too many third and fourth line forwards. There is nothing in terms of high-end guys right now. A lot of our players on deeper teams who are playing on the second line, like a Jack Quinn, would be a third line forward on any other team in this league. It's just we don't have the depth right now, and so we have a lot of third and fourth line grinders throughout the lineup. But despite that, the Sabres have been able to put up 92 goals this year, which is right there in pace with all the top teams. The problem for the Sabres has been they've allowed 106 goals, which is the worst in the Eastern Conference, and it is near the bottom of the league. Only 2 teams are worse, St. Louis and Vancouver. Edmonton and Buffalo have both allowed 106 goals. So that's where the Sabres issue is. It hasn't necessarily been in these low-line grinders not being able to score. It's been they still have not accomplished their goal of being harder to play against. And again, it's because they cough the puck up all the time. So hopefully Trevor Kuntar can come in if he does play. Hopefully he can make a bit of a difference. It's a surprising story, but it's definitely a welcome story to see a local kid get a shot at the NHL level if indeed he does get it. So hopefully it will go well for him if he does indeed get called up and make his debut here. But good on him for getting an NHL contract. It's certainly a pay bump for him if he does get time at the NHL level. And so it's very exciting and good for him. Hopefully he is able to produce if he does get the chance to be called up. And hopefully he'll continue to have a good year down there in Rochester as well. As we get into this game, we got to look around and see where we are at. Obviously, the Sabres coming off a big win against Edmonton, a game they were winning 3-0, almost gave up the comeback, but were able to prevail 4-3 in overtime. It gives them a little bit of momentum, and they badly need to get some momentum and get things going because the teams in their division simply are not losing. Wednesday night, the Detroit Red Wings beat the Calgary Flames 4-3. They were outshot 37-27, but it didn't matter in the end. Just an overall good performance by them. They did almost allow a third period comeback as well, giving up 3 goals in the third period, but Flames could not find that fourth goal to get all the way back. And then the Florida Panthers, they had a 3-1 lead against Utah, gave up 2 goals to make it 3-3, but were ultimately able to score with under a minute to go in the game to take that game 4-3 and pick up 2 points as well. Nobody else in the division was active on Wednesday night. There were only 4 games across the whole league. But where that leaves the division is, well, it's a bit worse now. The Sabres are continuing, of course, in 8th place with 28 points. Ottawa, 30 points through 29 games, sit in 7th place. They are losers of 3 straight, 4-6 in their last 10. That is the worst last 10 mark in the division. Toronto, 6-2-2 in their last 10. They're up to 6th in the division, 32 points through 29 games. And then Florida has won 3 straight. They're up to 32 points through 29 games. Montreal, the Canadiens, have lost 2 in a row. They have 33 points through 29 games. Boston's winners of 3 straight, 36 points through 31 games. Tampa Bay, 6-4 in their last 10, 36 points through 30 games. And then the Red Wings have won 3 straight to pull themselves back up out of the fire. They have 37 points through 31 games, are in first place in the division, despite their -6 goal differential. Despite allowing only one fewer goal than the Sabres, the Red Wings have found ways to win games despite those numbers. The impressive thing for the Red Wings, 9-6-1 at home, 8-5-2 on the road. They've been really good in both places, and that's been a big difference. You look at the Sabres, a similar home record of 9-5-2 to the Red Wings, but the road record, obviously 3-9-2, it's not close. And that poor road record in the Eastern Conference, I mean, the next closest team in the Eastern Conference as far as road wins to the Sabres in terms of being near the bottom, Florida and Toronto. Florida's 5-6, Toronto's 5-7. Nobody has close to 3. And in the league, Nashville is the closest at 4-6-2. But Sabres still do not have a regulation road win. They'll be trying to change that against Vancouver. The Canucks are sitting obviously at the bottom of the league, the bottom of the Pacific Division in 8th place, 25 points through 30 games. Their goal differential is -23. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10, and they've actually only won, I believe, 5 games since the start of November. So they're definitely not in a very good place at the moment, are the Canucks. When you look at their leading scorers, you can see that they just have a goal problem. They have no one they can turn to reliably who's going to score. They only have one goal scorer who has exceeded the 10-goal mark. That's Kiefer Sherwood, who has 12 goals across the 30 games. Next closest is Brock Besser, 9 goals, and then Elias Pettersson has 8 goals. As far as overall points, though, Pettersson and Hughes have 22 points, and they pace the team with that. The next closest are Sherwood, Besser, and Ronick, who have 16 points. Garland and Kane have 15 points. It's not a team that has a lot of high-end scoring. They have guys who can contribute across the lineup, but it's very similar to Buffalo in a lot of respects, but the Sabres are actually better in that regard. The Sabres have 3 players who have eclipsed 10 goals, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch, and Josh Doan, 14, 11, and 10 respectively, and then Jason Zucker has 9, although he is out for this game. In terms of points overall, Sabres have 4 players who have eclipsed the 20-point mark, Thompson 26 points, Tuch 26 points, Dahlin 23 points, and Doan 22 points. As much as we've complained about the performances of Tuch, Thompson, and Dahlin, they are still the leading point getters on the team. But the plus-minus is kind of gross. Thompson -13 on the year with the plus-minus. Dahlin -12 with the plus-minus on the year. Tuch is plus-0, so he's definitely been a more effective player when he's been on the ice, despite his occasional issues with turnovers and things of that nature. Doan is at 10, 12, 22, -7 on the year, and he has 4 power play goals. Jason Zucker and Doan lead the team on the power play front. Zucker has 5 power play goals, Doan has 4, Thompson has 3. Vancouver on the power play, they have found success with Jake DeBrusk, who has 7 power play goals. He only has 8 goals for the year, but he has 7 power play goals. So on the power play, that's the guy you got to look to shut down, is Jake DeBrusk. As far as in goal, the Canucks have let 4 men between the pipes this year. Kevin Laakkonen has had a really tough go of it through his 17 games played and 16 starts, 4-10 with 3 overtime games. Goals against a 3.49, save percentage of .878. Thatcher Demko has started 10 games. He's 5-4, a much more typical goals against and save percentage, 2.80 goals against, .903 save percentage. So those 2 are the guys who are going to go. Thatcher Demko is the one projected to get this start, as Adam Foote said that Demko would be back in goal on Thursday. So it isn't 100% confirmed, but it is probable, and actually more than probable, that Demko will get the nod in this game. It's unknown at this time who the Sabres are going to turn to, whether it will be Luukkonen or whether it will be Lyon. In all likelihood, it will be Luukkonen, because that's the guy we don't really want to see in the goal, so it'll probably be him. In terms of goaltender numbers this year, everyone for the Sabres is very, very similar. Alex Lyon, 15 games played, 13 starts, 4-6, 3.22 goals against, .899 save percentage, which is the best save percentage among the goalies for Buffalo. UPL has played in 10 games, started 9. He's 4-5, 2.91 goals against, .884 save percentage. And then Colten Ellis obviously will not play. Obviously, he's in the concussion protocol, but he has a 3.25 goals against and a .895 save percentage. So overall, everybody's pretty much below average a little bit in their performance this year, but that UPL save percentage is far and away the worst, especially when you consider that Lyon has faced 416 shots and has kept his .899 save percentage, whereas UPL has only faced 242 shots. He's going to get .884. He doesn't face as many shots as when he's in goal, but he has done a worse job of stopping those shots. That is for sure. So if UPL does get the nod, that he has to just find a way to not let in the soft goals, because nothing is going to get Vancouver back into the game or more into the game than letting in one of those early softies that the Sabres are kind of known for when UPL plays. UPL does not like to play in tie games. Generally. As far as the recent offense for the Canucks, this month, the Canucks have scored 6 goals in 4 games. 4 of those goals came against Minnesota on the 6th. Otherwise, they lost 3-1 to Colorado, 4-1 to Utah, and 4-0 to Detroit last time out. They've only gone above 2 goals twice in their last 9 games. So if you're the Sabres, you just got to make sure you keep this game kind of low scoring. At the same time, they've given up fewer than 2 goals only twice during that 9-game stretch as well. So if you're the Sabres, it's pretty simple. You got to find a way to score more than 2 goals, and you got to find a way to not give up that kind of 2-goal mark. Look for that 2-goal mark. That's going to be key. Whichever team eclipses that mark first, I think you have to like in this game. And I think whichever team scores first, you really have to like in this game. I know that's not revolutionary knowledge, but when you have a Sabres team that has been caught out in these situations, that has really struggled on the road, they need to get a goal early for their confidence, and they need to get a goal early to kind of break Vancouver's confidence. Now, the Canucks are 4-9-1 at home. The Sabres are 3-9-2 on the road. Both teams are struggling mightily in these 2 situations. The Canucks, though, being psyched out at home, I feel like that's a much worse thing than being psyched out on the road. Both teams are psyched, so whichever team gets that first goal, the other team's going to be like, oh, crap, here we go again. That's why I think it's particularly important in this one. If we look at the overall macro statistics here, the Canucks offense only averaging 2.77 goals per game, which is 24th in the league, but they allow 3.60 goals against per game, which is 32nd. The Sabres average 3 goals 4 per game, which is 15th in the league, allowing 3.53 goals against, which is 29th in the league. So both of these teams give up a lot of goals, but the Sabres do average 3 goals a game, so they have a better chance to match it. The Canucks nearly a goal difference in what they score versus what they allow, whereas the Canucks are more at a half goal difference. Vancouver's also not a team that puts a lot of shots on goal. Only 27 shots on goal per game is their average, which is 23rd. The Sabres average 29 shots on goal per game, which is 12th. In terms of shots on goal allowed, Sabres allow about 30, which is 26th. Vancouver 29.5, which is 25th. Once again, you look at this number and you say that this needs to be a higher volume shot game for the Sabres and a lower volume, and you want to keep Vancouver from reaching their average as well. It's going to be a game where you want to put a lot of pucks on the net and just drive in. Make them feel like it's difficult. Make them feel like it's going to be tough. It's really important when you play a team that is struggling. You have to take their top guys away. So you got to take their top line away, and you have to find a way to not let them gain an advantage on your lines. I honestly think this is a game where Buffalo would be better served to have a very balanced lineup and try to just have good combinations on every line. Don't worry so much about taking one line or another away. Just make sure every line is fairly balanced and just try to have each line win its matchup with the other line. This is a game where we're not going to be overwhelmed by the skill of the opposition. This is a game where we just have to play a safe, solid, secure game with a lot of energy, go focused on winning those puck battles, and one shift at a time, just kind of push your will onto them. Again, they're a team that hasn't had a lot of success. They've only won 5 games since the calendar turned to November. If you start pushing things hard against them, they're going to have trouble finding ways to fight back. Now, they have occasionally broken out and have had really good offensive games. They put up 6 goals against Tampa Bay, 5 goals against Florida, 5 goals against Anaheim, 4 goals against Columbus, 5 goals against Nashville. So they have occasionally put up really good offensive performances, and they usually do it again against the better teams. They tend to come to play against the better teams. But they also, much like us, have had a tendency to struggle against the kind of, quote, lower grade teams in the league. So let them know. They might be looking at this as, oh, Buffalo's coming in. We can beat them. The same way we look at them, they're looking at us. So, again, it's important that you show them, oh, no, this is not going to be an easy game, and put the panic in a little bit. In terms of power play and penalty kill, special teams, the Sabres are 13th in the league right now, with hitting 20%. That is skyrocketing right now. The Sabres have got to continue to press the advantage on the power play, but especially in this one, Vancouver's penalty kill only operates at 72%, which is 30th in the league. So if the Sabres go to the power play, they need to make sure they're capitalizing as they have been doing these last few games. Vancouver has the 17th ranked power play, 18.8%. Again, 7 goals have come by way of Jake DeBrusk. Nobody else on the team has more than 4. So you got to make sure if there is a power play situation, you shut him down. The Sabres have the second ranked penalty kill in the league, 86.2%. Both teams take a lot of penalties. Sabres 10 minutes per game in terms of penalty minutes. That's 26th. Vancouver 9.4. That's 22nd. Although the way this usually goes is both teams come in, take a lot of penalties. Probably the refs swallow their whistle and don't give out so many penalties in this one. In terms of face-offs, the Sabres are still last in the league, 43.8%. Certainly their game against Edmonton did not do them any favors. Vancouver 48.2%, tied for 22nd. So it's a game, once again, where I think the Sabres have got to just not make mistakes. That's all we ever do, is make a million mistakes, turn the puck over, just do stupid things. You can't do stupid things when you're playing a team that's on their heels, because you don't want that team to get off their heels. If the Sabres play their game, if they have good controlled breakouts, if they can connect on their up ice passes, if they stop those stupid drop passes when they try to break through the neutral zone, just get the puck into the zone, carry it up yourself if you have to, reinforce play, go slow, but be physical and be ready to engage in puck battles. We need an effort like we saw against Minnesota. We bring an effort like we saw against Minnesota, we will crush this team. So that's what we got to do. And again, that desperation still needs to be there. It doesn't matter that you beat Edmonton, big deal. You still have to win these next 2 games, get back to 500, and then we'll go from there. But that is the first step. And if you blow these games here, either of this game against Vancouver or the game against Seattle, if you blow either of these 2 games, it's going to be a lot tougher climb if you're trying to get back into it. If you're trying to get away from being adrift as they are right now, you got to win these next 2. It starts here. Don't overlook Vancouver. Don't think they're soft. Don't think they're going to win. And if they come out with one of those efforts where they don't play, where they feel entitled to the victory, that's not going to be a fun recap video. I'm going to be very, very, very frustrated and angry. So hopefully the Sabres can give one of their better efforts in this one. And if they do, I wholeheartedly believe they will come away victorious. What do you think about this one? What do you think about the Trevor Kuntar signing and potential call-up? What do you think the Sabres need to do to win this game against Vancouver? What kind of lineup do you want to see the Sabres put out there against the Canucks? And what do you think your focus should be? And what do you think about us, over this game and the next 2 games? Do you think we can win these next 2 and kind of get back to 500 heading home? Does it even matter at this point? Whatever you think about it, please leave your thoughts down below. We'll talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like more Sabres hockey content, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you here with us. As always, go Sabres. Bye-bye.